All right, Cooking Vamp 104. You know, and I've been talking, supporting local pretty much from the beginning of Mangia TV. Supporting local agricultural, local artists, the whole thing. And I really talked about how I think the brewing scene kind of revitalized a lot of the local thing, that local craft beer guy. And I happen to move to Bend and a ton of local craft beer.
Yes.
Bonus for me, so much. And then I actually was introduced to Liz through Anna at the New Public Cafe. She's got a Food Carton Sisters, and she always had the most incredible produce. I'm like, where do you get your produce?
Amazing.
Where do you get your produce from? She's like, Liz at Agricultural Connections. And so tell me a little about your journey to where we are tonight here. I know Ag Connections have been around for like 7 years.
Yeah, so, well, what brings me here is that I love to eat. I love food, and I've always loved food, and I was raised on a farm about 45 minutes north of here, so just north of Madras. I grew up on a conventional seed crop farm. My parents still farm in Madras.
Okay.
My brother is now farming with my dad, which is very awesome. And there were 4 of us, and we were raised with really, really amazing food. And so my love and appreciation for good food, I think, started at a very young age. I always gardened in college, and I studied landscape architecture at University of Oregon. Took a bunch of urban farm classes and fell in love with the food farm connection kind of at that point in my life. And I finished my studies in landscape architecture, decided that I wanted to come back to Central Oregon. The economy was in a horrible spot at that point to hire designers or landscape planners or anything. And I came across an opportunity with Agricultural Connections. And 6 months later, bought the business from the guy who started the company, Andrew Adams. He created this structure of a way for people to get local food in Bend year-round. So he started the business in the wintertime when there were no farmers markets.
Smart guy, right? No
smart guy.
competition.
Yeah, he saw a niche and went for it, and started off with just a very simple business model that was based off of the idea of a CSA, so a produce box that was pulling product in from various farms, but working with Valley Farms and also with some producers here in Central Oregon. So that's where we got started 7 years ago.
All right, so I was wondering that when he started the business, I did not know that it was the winter time. But I still think that even in the summer, I like going to farmers markets, but I can't tell you how many weeks in a row I go, it's Thursday, the farmers market was yesterday.
Right.
Or wherever you live, the farmers market's on Saturday. I can never make it Saturday. My kids got baseball or whatever. Mm-hmm. So I kind of thought that maybe that was his impetus to doing it, that people like easy.
Right.
Right? And so I didn't know that smart guy starts it in the winter, but the ease part of it, for you to participate in local agriculture by having you guys put together a produce box weekly really has sustained you through the summer months then too.
Yes. I mean, for the first couple of years of the business, that was predominantly what the business did, was selling the produce box. And we had milk and cheese and meat and other items too, through to home use customers. So the business has now evolved where we have a huge commercial component to the business. So that's sales to Anna at New Public and various other restaurants here in Central Oregon that we work with.
So the restaurateurs are getting it.
Mm-hmm.
It's a story not only that they want to tell, but they need to tell because the public is demanding it, right? And so, you know, I just started, I don't know if I started this hashtag, but I just started using this hashtag. It's hashtag Move the Needle. And we talked a little bit about my early work on supporting local, on some studies done in Austin, Texas, where they didn't allow a Borders bookstore in because they had a local one. And the Bronzeville neighborhood in Chicago, which is hyper-local in what they do as far as a community.
Wow.
And a lot of the research points to that you don't have to change 100% of what you're doing. If you can get the public to buy in to 10%, or so. You know what? And what happens, I think, is people understand that they get to retake over their community when they start to vote with dollars. And so I was super excited to hear that, that's a growing part of your business, though, is the commercial side of it.
Yeah, it is. Yeah, we're very excited to be able to offer that service in the area. It's very rewarding.
Yeah, you know, and from Anna's Food Cart, I know Jackson's Corner, who we fell in love with right away with that place.
Mm-hmm.
You can tell. You can definitely tell the quality of stuff when it's local and fresh.
Yes.
And now we got a whole other side of it that I know you're continuing to learn, is the seasonal side of it.
Oh yeah.
Right? And trying to change your
work
diet.
with the seasons.
Right?
Not against them.
Right. So that brings me to a new food box item participator starting tomorrow. Is this it?
This is it. This is what you're getting tomorrow.
All right, so mixed kale. Now I got some kale on my 300 food challenge.
I bet you do.
I got some kale.
It's not a new one.
So it's not a new one. But she's so what?
She's so fine.
She's so funny. She's so fine. I never heard of shiso.
Yeah.
And I'm not making it up. It's shiso. SHISO.
That's right.
What is shiso? I mean, that's a tongue twister. That
So
one.
shiso is. That is a lot of sos. It's used as an herb.
Right.
I've actually, to be perfectly honest, this is new to me too. I had
Come
a little
on.
sample of it because I've had some commercial customers order it. A couple restaurants have ordered it over the past few weeks. It's been on Groundwork Organics list for the past month and a half or so.
Okay.
And I thought, why don't we try something like this in our produce box? And really, that's part of the fun of the produce boxes, is that we're throwing in items that aren't a mainstream item that you would necessarily go pick out at the grocery store. And it opens up this, like you said, we used to eat way more foods in the past than we do now. So it opens up this selection and creates fun
Right.
and intrigue and mystery with food that's a part of the joy of food.
All right, now it says a bun of, I've never even heard that before. Excuse me.
So this is actually, it's a Mizuna that we're doing here. A Mizuna is in a mesclun mix, but we're doing a Mizuna that's a type of a mustard green, and I can show you what that looks like right now.
Yeah,
if
yeah.
you would like to see
Yeah, and
it.
I'm going to check the Twittersphere and see what the...
We have, this Mizuna is coming from Mahonia Gardens. They're in Sisters, so they're your neighbor.
All right.
And it's a very, very, very mild mustard green. So
Mustard
that's a
seed!
little-
Look at those,
How
though.
beautiful that is.
Oh, my goodness.
Yep, and take a little
Man,
taste.
we get the sample here.
It's just a very mild, spicy
Oh, wow.
flavor, but not so much.
No, that
it's-
is awesome.
Yeah.
We're going to have to give a break on whoever's buying this one. We just...
We're gonna put this one in your box.
I will take it.
First item.
First item. Ivy says microbreweries
quick to
compute
it.
to the local movement, and she's in the middle of Shy Beer Week. I guess that's the thing in Chicago, Ivy? Shy Beer Week? Fant. I bet you there's some sobriety issues at Shy Beer Week in Chicago. Maybe not necessarily dyeing the river green, but definitely getting after it. All right. All right, scallions, baby turnips. And so I know that I'm going to add turnips, scallions, mesclun, shiso.
Are all those gonna be new?
Those are going to be new. Four.
Wow.
I'm going to get
In
four
one box.
in one box.
Okay.
4 in one box. I can't wait to see how this works for the rest of the summer, too.
4 for 1.
Absolutely. So Tuesday is staging night here, and we're hoping for the produce truck. And where does he come from? All over the Central Oregon and the Valley, or just Central Oregon, or?
Central Oregon and the Valley.
Okay.
Yep. He starts right here behind our building is where our refrigerated truck lives, and he drives that all the way over to Eugene and Junction City and picks from about, depending on the week, 6 to 8 different suppliers over there. And then on his way back, he swings by a couple different farms, including Rain Shadow Organics, who is providing us with the kale mix this week for the produce boxes, and a few other.
Way to go, Rain Shadow. Kale me this.
Do you want to see the scallions?
Of course I want to see the scallions.
All right, well, let's check out the
Let's look at the
scallions.
scallions.
These are from Radical Roots Farm, also
Radical
here.
Roots.
Radical. It's a part of the plant. It's like the two, I think what James said, it's the 2 little leaves that come up on the plant when they're
Look
just
at
like
that.
really.
I mean, they're perfect. scallywag and scallions.
And then this dill, which unfortunately is only in the family box, so but we can check it out. Some fresh dill. That's a first for this season. So just starting to get some more fresh herbs in with the spring.
Who do we have? Is there a local brinery in Bend, or is like I know Oregon brinery that do pickles? They're not here,
There's
right?
no one who does a local pickle, but we need one now.
Right.
There's two commercial kitchens. There's one just around the corner from here called Prep, and there's another one in Redmond. And we might be seeing some more product and stuff like this dill
Yeah.
from Windflower Farm maybe could be used for that.
Absolutely. I've become addicted to the Sonoma brinery's fresh bread and butter pickles. I really have a problem with these things. I can't stop. You know, I used to have a problem with pasta and bread.
Now it's pickles.
Now it's pickles.
Could be worse things.
Absolutely. Weekend grilling. I know you wanted to talk about things that you can use, and a lot of people don't think about this, but like the dill, the scallions, to blend with stuff to add, to make your own homemade salad dressings. The creme fraiche, my friend Steve on the East Coast would always have some sort of infused cream or yogurt or something. I mean, so
yeah.
Everybody's, you know,
Great.
right?
Yeah.
So the shiso, I'm gonna keep saying it. I'm maybe keep talking about the shiso. The shiso is an herb.
It is. It's a green. It's kind of got a little triangular shaped leaf like that, and it has a very citrusy, lemony flavor.
See, so I'm going with some fish on the food cart. So I'm thinking
Good
shiso. You know, maybe in some creme fraiche or some yogurt to make just the drizzle. It's all about bringing it from air, right? Bringing rain. That's what we do. Always season from on high, right? You need altitude when you season. All right. So if people want to get locally sourced produce and meats, they just go to the Agricultural Connections website, correct?
Yep. .com. That's all it is.
agriculturalconnections.com. And you know, so I'm at with including the 4 that are coming tomorrow, I'll be at 169 on my way to 300.
Yeah.
All right, and I got to knock this 300 thing out before the end of the summer. I don't want to have any stress going into the holidays. Like there's enough stress already. I don't need to get to my 300.
I would aim for October.
October?
Because Central Oregon's peak season really is the month of September.
Right.
So we start getting stuff June, April, May, June. Starts to peak July, August, and then September. Like those are really good food months for Oregon. So you'll get a lot done in July, August, and September.
All right, I can't wait to get into it. Absolutely.
Plenty of
I did interview Jim from Fields Farm last summer or the summer before at his farmers market, and I wanted to talk just a little bit about farming because I too I didn't grow up on a farm. I moved to the farm. It was more like a forced labor thing for me, and I quit the farm in 1985 or 86. About this date, moved to the city. I had enough of the farm. You know why? Because there's always work on the farm.
There's always
Work. Always work on the farm.
You don't like that?
It's not that I'm opposed to hard labor. It's that you know, given the choice, sometimes people would say I would shy away from it. I don't know. But I do completely appreciate the hard work that farmers do, and I think the public's awareness of it has really come full circle. So, and obviously, it couldn't be done really without people like you, because farmers want to farm.
Mm-hmm.
You know, farmers don't want me going to their farm and saying, hey, you know, can you stop for a second and talk to me on Mangia TV? They got stuff to do. They're like, beat it, get out of here. I got work to do, right?
I've got carrots to harvest.
I got carrots. It's time to make hay. Let's go, beat it. So,
they probably would actually enjoy your
I don't know about that, maybe. But thank you so much for filling this void. Listen, do yourself a favor and cook somebody a meal, would you? And please try to include locally sourced produce and agriculture in your routine. And if you just start a little bit, believe me, it's going to snowball. You'll get addicted to local agriculture. All right, thank you so much. Thank you, Liz.
Thank you.
Come into my kitchen, babe. I'm gonna fix you something to eat. To eat. I'm gonna mix it up with passion. Gonna throw a pinch of something sweet, sweet. So lay your troubles down by the door.